Live from San Diego, this is KUSI News.
The committee decided to lower the target range for the federal funds rate by a quarter percentage point to 3.5 to 3.75%.
There you heard it right there. The Federal Reserve cut interest rates Wednesday by a quarter point, lowering borrowing costs for the third time this year. Joining us now to talk about what it all means for San Diego County is real estate broker Mark Powell. Thank you so much, Mark, for being here. I got to ask you, point blank, what does this all mean?
It means good news for people who have credit cards, because when they cut interest rates, the Federal Reserve works with credit card rates. So the credit cards, your rate is going to go down. However, the mortgage rates are tied to the credit card rates. So the rates are based upon the bond market. So if interest rates go down, the bond market looks at interest rates, inflation, the overall economy. So you will probably see now mortgage interest rates going down that quarter basis points, or 0.25%. And what that means for people who are going to buy a house, they can afford more. What it means for people that have a high interest rate, some people bought homes when the rates were 7%. Now they can refinance at 6.2 or 6.3, depending on what their credit score is. And it might even go a little bit lower. We're hoping that at some point it goes just below 6 and we're in the 5s.
I got to tell you, I know some real estate agents, and over the past, I'd say maybe a year or so, they've seen kind of a pattern when it comes to buyers who get a little cold feet. They get almost to the end of the purchase of a home and they back out. Any reason why? Is it because of the interest rate? Is it because of the uncertainty of the economy? What do you think?
A lot of it has to do with the uncertainty of the economy. And when you see the Federal Reserve lowering these rates a quarter point instead of doing the drastic cuts, it's almost like if you're going to go on a diet. You don't want to just all of a sudden drop like 50 pounds, because you know what happens? You end up probably gaining it back and then some. They're doing it slowly to maintain that consistency. You go at 2.25, you see how the economy is going to respond. And I don't believe that home prices are going to skyrocket, because the rates are only chipping down just a little bit. 3 times this year, but they just chipped it down a little bit. So the buyers, you don't have to be afraid to go out and purchase a home. And there's a saying, they say, marry the home, date the rate. So if you get the home, then if the interest rates drop, you can refinance. If they go up, you're going to feel confident that you bought at the right time, like those people did when they purchased and they got it 2.5 or 3%, and we won't see that for a while. But there is something out there called mortgage portability, where they're trying to allow people to carry their interest rate to their next purchase. And what that would do is free up a lot of the homes on the market where people say, I would move, but I want to keep my interest rate. I don't want to go 6.2 or 3.
What does this mean if you're a seller and maybe your home is priced pretty high? Because we know homes here in San Diego County, they're all priced pretty high.
Yes.
And it's been sitting on the market. Does this cut help you? Should it give you some confidence that maybe you might be able to sell this home for the price that you want?
Well, absolutely, because now the person that wanted to purchase that home at maybe a little bit of an inflated price now qualifies for that. So sellers may not have to drop their price. But if a home's sitting on the market for too long and there's nothing really wrong with it structurally, it's a lot of times it's the price. Good news for buyers and good news for sellers when they drop this interest rates. And one tip, if you have a credit card and you have an interest rate on there, you should check your credit card to make sure that you're realizing that quarter point drop, and that's going to help you meet your needs as far as your financial needs or qualifying for a home.
All right, Mark. Great advice. Thank you so much for all that information. I know a lot of people out there are concerned about what's happening with our economy right now, and I think you gave them a little bit of relief.
I think we're going to be okay. We'll probably get a couple more, and everything's looking like it's going to be much better for us.
All right. Thanks so much for joining us on KUSI. Appreciate you.
Thank you, sir.